How's it going, you guys? AZ Plyo 21 back again with another episode of our UFC save in WMMA 5. And here today we have UFC Fight Night Aldo versus Gomez, a big main event here in the featherweight division. Jose Aldo taking on Luis Gomez. Also got Gary Tonin in action, Frank Mir still on the card, Angela Lee on the card as well. It should be a pretty good card. The last time I saw you guys was for UFC 302 Nardiev versus Luque. 3 title fights. We have Hamza Dalgiev retaining the title, Ronnie Sadeh, new flyweight title holder, and Ismail Nardiev beating Vicente Luque once again to become the ultimate undisputed champion. You gotta love it. We are making our way towards UFC 303. Lee versus McKee 2 for the super lightweight championship of the world. Kevin Lee taking on AJ McKee once again. Also got Valerie Lareda taking on Jillian Robertson for the women's flyweight title. That should be a good one. Appreciate you guys as always, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. Leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Links are down in the description below. If you'd like to support me even further, I also have a Patreon that you can donate to. It's patreon.com/azplyo21. Link is down in the description below as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rankings here. As the last time we saw you guys was after UFC 302. Light heavyweight looks very different. So, yeah, about this. So, I am currently in the process of starting a super middleweight tournament, and I think I've already gotten it set up. Let me go ahead and just check real quick, because yeah, super middleweight tournament. We're gonna actually go with the idea of the super middleweight Grand Prix, and here it is. Alexander Rakic versus Chris Weidman, Scott Askham versus Tom Breeze, Paulo Costa versus Darren Till, Costella Vanstinas versus Luke Rockhold, Saba Hosh versus Edmund Shabazian, Robert Brechek versus Rafael Lovato Jr., Israel Adesanya versus Johnny Hendricks, and Fabian Edwards versus Kazushi Tsukawaki. It should be a pretty good one. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm not 100% sure how many of these fights have already been booked. However, it should be pretty good. We are going to crown a super middleweight champion. I'd imagine in a year's time it'll take for us to get through all of that. Interestingly enough, though, the first fight in that tournament is going to be on this very card. So that's kind of why I wanted to tell you about it now. Scott Askham and Tom Breeze are in the super middleweight Grand Prix to decide the future super middleweight champions. Scott Askham coming off a win over Costella Vanstinas, and on the other side you got Tom Breeze coming off a pretty lengthy hiatus in 2021, and then lost to Fabian Edwards in his return fight. But he has a big chance here today to basically get closer to a title. Let's go ahead and get it going. Taking place in Kanto. We are in Japan for this fight card as we are underway with Aldo versus Gomez. Starting, of course, with our prelims, Gordon Ryan taking on Robert Brechek in our light heavyweight division. In real life, Gordon Ryan has had some injury issues, I want to say. I hope he's doing okay, but like as far as what I've seen on Instagram and stuff, he's either been injured or he's kind of just taking a back seat because he knows he's testing positive for something and he just doesn't want, you know, to get popped. So what do you guys think it is? 4-2 in his UFC career thus far, small favorite over Robert Brechek, and it is Gordon Ryan with the leg lock submission in round number 1. 7-2 now is his record. Vitaly Minakov taking on Dustin Jacoby in the heavyweight division. Jacoby, a very small heavyweight, but he still gets the TKO win over the former Bellator champion. A great fight, apparently. Moving right along, Chris Birchler taking on Jake Hager in another heavyweight contest. Jake Hager, I just had the pleasure of watching on All or Nothing's, AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view just the other day. 42 years old in game, 4-1 in the UFC though. Very surprised that he is not ranked, especially after a win over Tom Aspinall, who I believe is ranked in game now. Taking on Chris Birchler, 0-1 in the UFC, and it's Jake Hager with the submission win. Interesting to see if he retires here. He does. Jake Hager retires after a 5-1 UFC record. That sucks. I mean, not sure really if he was going to get to a title shot or anything like that, but very impressive nonetheless from Jake Hager. Another guy who could be on the brink of retiring, Jessias Cavalcante taking on Alan Ilunga, and Cavalcante gets the TKO win, 1-1 in the UFC, and then does not retire, so he'll be around for a little bit longer. Sean Brady taking on Christian Kazubowski in the welterweight division is the underdog, Sean Brady, but he gets a knockout in round number 1. I mean, Brady was on a 3-fight losing streak. This is a much-needed win for Sean Brady. Moving right along, Ryutu Sawada taking on Hayato Suzuki. A couple of Japanese boys going at it in the flyweight division in front of their home crowd, and it's Sawada getting the decision here today, the 18th win of his career. Yoshihisa Fujimaki taking on Alexander Illich, another Japanese guy going at it, and it is Fujimaki getting the submission win via Kimura, the first win of his UFC career. Yoshiki Nakahara taking on Alex Munoz in another Japanese fighter showcase here. Big favorite is Nakahara as well, and he gets the submission win in a fantastic fight. Love to see it. He improves to 5-2 in the UFC now. Takeya Mizugaki taking on Pedro Munoz in the bantamweight division. Another Japanese fighter going at it here. Mizugaki has been around for quite a while. I mean, so is Pedro Munoz. I don't believe either of these guys are ranked anymore. I mean, Pedro Munoz, 2-fight losing streak to Batista and Dominic Wooding. On the other side, you got Mizugaki, 9-6 in the UFC. And, I mean, he come in and his return fight, he gets a win over Mateus Vasco. And it is Mizugaki in a great fight, getting a guillotine win over Pedro Munoz. Gotta love it. Tiffany Van Soest taking on Evelina Wozniak in our prelims here. Tiffany Van Soest always ends up being very popular. You can see they're 9-9. She is the underdog in this one. She lost to Mizukii Inoue her last time out. We're going to have to send her down to Invicta if she loses in this one. She's low-level national. She's making some good money. But if she loses to Wozniak, who's 1-4, no real reason to keep her around. And it is Wozniak who gets the unanimous decision win. So Van Soest is going to have to go back down to Invicta. Main card time, Angela Lee. You know, the Asian sensation about to get it going against Alicia Zapatella. I think they call her a half pint, right? Yeah, half pint. Zapatella, 2-4 in the UFC, coming off 2 straight wins in Invicta and getting the invitation back. Angela Lee on the other side, 7-2 in the UFC. Look at that nice little win streak she's got going on. Her last win over Claudia Gadelha. And it is Angela Lee via knockout in round number 3. Angela Lee just unstoppable as of late. Moving right along, Muhammad Imam taking on Danang Iweala in the featherweight division. And it is Imam getting the TKO win. He's now 4-1 in the UFC. Moving right along, this is the first fight in the super middleweight Grand Prix. Scott Askham taking on Thomas Breeze. A couple of Englishmen going at it with a chance at the super middleweight championship in store. And we have Tom Breeze knocking out Scott Askham to move on in the super middleweight Grand Prix. And hopefully he does not go on hiatus again. That would suck. Sergey Spivak taking on Frank Mir in a big heavyweight contest. Spivak, number 8 in the division. He's on a nice winning streak. He takes on Frank Mir, 45 years of age. Probably not going to make his way to a title shot anytime soon. But still, getting it done at age 45. And Spivak knocks out Frank Mir in less than a minute in Japan. I'd imagine Frank Mir retires here. He does not. Wow. Okay. So Frank Mir still going at it as we get our co-main event going. Gary Tonin, number 10 in the lightweight division. A nice 5-fight winning streak to his name. Taking on Alexander the Great Hernandez, number 9 in the division. 4-fight winning streak, including Sage Northcutt, Rustam Khabilov, and Eddie Alvarez. Co-main event, basically a pick'em between these two. But it is Gary Tonin with a split decision win in a decent fight. 15-1 is his now impressive record, and I'd imagine he's just 1 or 2 fights away from a title shot as we arrive at our main event of the evening. Jose Aldo at 37 years of age, number 6 in the featherweight division, coming off a loss to Conor McGregor in a fight night main event. You can see there before that, beat Chase Hooper, but he takes on Luis El Tigre Gomez, taking on another young prospect who's coming off a nice 3-fight winning streak. The last one over Andre Feely. This is going to be an interesting one. Luis Tigre Gomez can really jump up in the rankings if he gets a big win over a former champion in Aldo. Herb Dean is our referee. Let's get it going. The Japanese judges are ready to watch this. Neither fighter can really get anything going. Alright, it's going to be really interesting to see Nova Uniao versus American Top Team. Glancing blow with a high kick. Halfway through round number 1, not much going on as of yet. Quick left jab. Gomez may have rocked him. Beautiful flying knee. He goes down. Stunning Aldo. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 58 seconds of the very first round. Your winner by TKO is Luis El Tigre Gomez. He's only lost to Kevin Aguilar in the UFC. Very weird loss, but nonetheless a big win in the main event. Only 700 folks on hand to watch this one. No popularity changes. Let's see who got the first round finishes. We got Gomez, of course, with a performance bonus. And then we had a fantastic fight. Munoz and Nakahara getting it done. You'll love to see it. Let's see. First round finish, Gomez. We've got Spivak. We've got Tom Breeze. We've also got Sean Brady, Cavalcante, Dustin Jacoby, and Gordon Ryan, all getting $100,000. We take a nice $775,000 loss on that one. It's okay. Highest paid fighters of the night are Jose Aldo, Sergey Spivak, and Luis Gomez. You gotta love it. Appreciate you guys as always. We're making our way towards UFC 303. I'm AZ Plyo 21, and I will see you guys at the fights.